Hi. Ramana Maharshi, who lived in India, created a meditation technique called self-inquiry, in which one can say this more or less to oneself. Who am I? I am not the one who talks. I'm not the one who listens to. I am not the one who uses his five senses. I'm not the one who has been coordinating his personal memory. I'm not the one who has personal hopes for the future. I'm not the one who reads, who thinks, who gets worried. I'm not the one who sees. I'm not the one who walks. Who am I? And by this sort of investigation or self-inquiry, the student of yoga or the truth seeker in Christianity or any other religion or philosophy is able to investigate what is it that one is in essence, and getting away from one's self-identification with outward circumstances, with personal memory, personal ambitions, personal idea, and so on. Why is it that if you look at a photo of yourself when you were 4 years old, you will immediately say, that's me? Why is it if your physical body, your mental body, your ideas, your worldview, and all else are rather different than the ones you had when you were 4 years old? Why do you identify yourself with a little more than a baby, 4 years old? Is it because you recognize the presence of your immortal spirit in that little body? This is perhaps an instinctive way of recognizing that we are much more than our physical body with its memory, personal memory, with its personal plans for the future and so on. Perhaps we are a silent witness of he who talks from our body. Perhaps we are a silent witness to what we do in the 24 hours of a day. When I wake up in the morning and say, I am awakening, who is it that is seeing that my physical body is getting awakened? In yoga, as in mystical Christianity, one learns to be aware of what our lower self is doing without identifying ourselves with it. Perhaps there is a higher self in us who works as a silent witness, who gives us a sense of direction towards truth and peace and wisdom, who accepts and understands and perhaps might suffer a little bit with our limitations, and which shows us the long-term future without saying a word, because it is only a witness. And this allows us to have patience and persistence in pursuing truth and well-being and contentment. So who am I? Who are you? Who are us? Who are we? We are not our country. I'm not my political opinions. I'm not my emotions. I'm not my thoughts or my ideas about the world. I am he who understands and who observes my thoughts. I am he who observes my feelings. I am he who observes my physical actions. I am he who observes my whole process since I became thinking about myself around 3-4 years old. So in Raja Yoga, and Yoga Ramacharaka in his book on Raja Yoga is an example of that. In Raja Yoga, many learn to start talking about themselves to themselves, not as a mortal being, but in an act of self-discipline and self-training, people start to thinking about himself as an immortal being. Then Ramacharaka will tell you, we will invite you to make an exercise in which you say, I am a center of eternal life. Nothing can do harm to me. I am my true self. I am beyond the five senses. I am independent from my physical body. Therefore, I was not born and will never die. So you, by these kind of exercises, you start to suspecting, let us say, that there is something in you that is kind of immortal. And you will perhaps start to identify yourself with this, let us say, transcendent self, which is some level of your true self, some level of your higher self. And by these, let us say, self-identification with a kind of higher self, which is beyond the use of five senses, you will be able to have a wider horizon, a much wider horizon in terms of life. But for that to occur, one must humbly inquire, who am I? Am I the one who eats every day? Am I the one who sleeps, who gets awakened, who goes to work, who develops so many tasks? Or am I he who is observing the whole process, giving a meaningful purpose to the whole set of daily actions? Am I the one who is suffering these and those limitations, or am I he who observes the process of limitations, which is undeniable and inevitable in life, in the process of transcending limitations and learning from limitations, which is a blessing in life? Who am I? Am I the one who makes an effort, or am I the one who directs and inspires in silence, perhaps in a divine way, those efforts? Of course, my self has several layers, several levels. The important thing here is to reduce our sense of identification with that which is material and external and illusory, and strengthen and develop and unfold our sense of self-identification with that which is divine and enduring and truth and truthful and harmonious and permanent.